But the point of it all is all those things don't matter when it comes to mental illness and mental health. And I want to make sure that
Absolutely.
people understand that when they talk
Yes.
about the stigma of it, because I myself struggle with mental illness. And
Okay.
I want that to be clear. And I want
Mm.
people to not feel ashamed and attach that stigma to it. Because what's not discussed often is the fact that there is a direct association and correlation actually between genius and mental health. So when
Yeah,
you're trying to attach that stigma, just be mindful of that person that you're attaching that stigma to. They really might be a genius in disguise. So
absolutely.
thank you for the opportunity to be here. We'll talk more, but I'm just grateful to be able to be on with such a dynamic team. I've had the opportunity to
Absolutely.
look at you guys' work, and I'm just blessed and excited, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. So let's do this.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much for giving us that information and insight. And it takes us right into. I want to do just a very quick review for those watching. If you didn't see episodes 1 through 4, go back, watch it, get your coffee, get your roll, get your good pair of headphones, chill out on the backyard, and let the podcast be a blessing to you. But our niece said a couple of things, and she touched everything that we've been talking about. Joe, so just in recap, we talked about what family breakup or a loss. We
Mhm.
talked about difficult behavior. We talked about physical ill health. We also talked about abuse and trauma. And some of those things she touched just about each and every one of those. And the reason why I wanted our niece to share some of it, we'll have her talk a little more about some of the things that she's done in life. I want you to see that even though you go through these things in life, and they are, trust me, they are heart wrenching, they hurt, and some of them are very horrible. I want you to know that that doesn't give you an excuse not to still go and be and do what God has attached to your life to do. Right now, I do understand that there are those of us sometimes who just struggle to get over, and I get it. That's why we have this, and we're going to help you. But somebody that is watching today, you may have experienced some of the same things or needs, or even worse, right? Even if it wasn't those things. My point is this: you have to find a way to navigate through the pain. So today we're going to talk about navigating through the pain, right? And I think your life, or needs, is a picture of that. So what I want to do now is I want to go to our panelists, our mental health professional, Naila and Dr. Page, just based off of what our needs shared. Just give me some diagnosis of what you see in your field and when you're dealing with families or individuals, when you're coaching or helping people.
So, hello, everybody. So, in my field, which I am clinical, so we do everything. So, we do from assessment to diagnosis to treatment. So, based on what our niece told us, with a lot of my clients, I've actually seen everything from anxiety to depression to bipolar disorder to schizophrenia to PTSD. And so pretty much it can run the gamut between any of those disorders. And so one thing she did mention, she talked about mental illness and mental health affecting anybody, and it does. So there is not a certain demographic. It touches
Right.
men and women, boys and
Yes.
girls. It
There we
touches
go.
all ages. I mean, from children to adolescents to adults, and that's all phases of adulthood, whether it's young adulthood, whether it's mid adulthood, or those later years. When it
Yeah.
comes to socioeconomic status, we see it in all, whether it's, people that are at the lower end of that, people that are maybe middle income, or the people that have a lot of money that we're like, oh, they have a lot of money, everything's fine. But they deal, of
Hmm.
course, with mental health issues too and mental illness. And then even when you break it down to even the races, it's everybody. It's African Americans, it's Caucasians, excuse me, it's Indians, it's Latinos, it is everybody. So there is not one specific group that we can just say, oh, they're the only group, that has mental illness,
Right.
not one gender or, anything like that. It does run the gamut over everybody.
Thank you, Thank you, Dr. Page. And what I wanted to say first, Ms. Arnice, is thank you for being willing to share that on this platform,
Wow,
because
that's what I
that's a
said.
lot of information, and it's heavy.
It
And
is.
I remember when Harry mentioned that we were going to be meeting with somebody and he knew who was going to be for who. I got excited when you started telling us a little bit about your story, because I work with domestic violence. I'm a survivor myself, and being in the mental health field, and just he knows our stories. But the first thing I thought about is when you were a child, because a lot of times when children experience these things, like your mom was stabbed to death by your stepdad, I'm sure he helped raise you. So it's like you lost your mom and your stepdad at the same time. So I started thinking about children who experience these things and how it could have negatively impacted you growing up as a child. So you have anxiety growing up as a child, not knowing what to do with what happened, not knowing how to express it emotionally, how to talk about it. You maybe not even had someone to talk to about those kind of situations if you've experienced something like that. And then I think about the depression setting in and not knowing how to grieve or what grief even looks like, right? I think about you choosing to persevere and continue in spite of. You chose
Yes.
not to be a victim of circumstance. And this type of example it allows you to be as a woman today. And I just think it's amazing. It's astounding to me. And it's like confirmation to everyone that you don't have to be a victim of circumstance, and that you may go through this, you may suffer from depression, you may suffer from anxiety. Those things are treatable with counseling and medication where applicable.